Hello, welcome to my quarter year Techo Kaigi, and I'm starting off with my personal planner and calendar, which is the Hobonichi Weeks. This is my second year using this. I used Weeks last year, and it was the first time in my life that I used a planner consistently and effectively for the whole year. So I was really sold on it and had to do it again. This year I got the Pam cover, which is a fabric cover. I think Hobonichi sells like matching. Oh, what is that? I did not know I had that stain on there. You could also see there's ink stains on my desk. Between working and having a baby, I really don't have much time to film, so I'm making do where I can. But yeah, this design, I believe Hobonichi makes matching pajamas, which I do not have, but I just thought this was fun. I liked the bold kind of shapes. I like the feel that it's kind of a nice smooth fabric. So it also randomly kind of reminded me of Pan Am Airlines, which was kind of a very retro mid-century airline, just that vibe of like traveling when travel was glamorous. For some reason this gives me those types of vibes. So yeah, I like this, but yeah, I'm just noticing for the first time how dirty she actually is. But that's okay. That means she's used and loved. All right, so let me get started. So how I use this, the monthlies I use for fitness tracking. So exercise is one of the things I feel is valuable to track. I used to like to track all sorts of things, but really, if you're tracking too much, it just becomes kind of a stressful chore. But for me, exercise and just being able to look at the month and have it color coded and see where I'm active and where I'm not is really helpful. So like this month, March, the yellow, the days outlined in yellow are the days I walked 10,000 steps or more. Next month, I'm actually changing that threshold to 8,000 steps because 10,000 is a lot. And as you can see, I didn't make it that many days, and I'd rather have lots of 8,000 step days than just a few 10,000 step days. Anyway, yeah, and then I also track different kinds of workouts. The brown is when I didn't work out, and there's a good amount of brown here, but I just love at a glance being able to see how active I am. So that's what I track in the monthlies. And I can flip back to... Actually, I messed up and I was actually using the 2026 month and didn't even realize it. So that's a couple of the months I have. And then just some random notes. And then for the weeklies, I basically use these. I do morning, afternoon, and evening. That's how I divide the weeks. And then I highlight appointments, like actual times that I have engagements or appointments, in a color so they pop out that it's an appointment. And then other things that aren't highlighted are either to-dos or just random like thoughts, or sometimes I write what I did kind of as a backwards journaling, memory keeping. But the things that are highlighted are like actual appointments, and that's what helps me at a glance see what my appointments are versus just what else is there. And then this page I use to track weekly to-dos, to track things, and then all sorts of journaling. I don't really have too strict of a method. I just do what works, and I think that's part of the reason I've used this for so long, because I'm not, it's flexible. I was doing a fitness challenge in the beginning of the year where I was doing trying to track all these things, like the types of foods I was eating, the types of exercise, the type of rest, all sorts of things. So you'll see these trackers for a few of the weeks, but I kind of fell off that. It was, as you can see, it just got too much to track, and I also just wasn't really doing it. So fell off. I'm still doing a couple of the habits, so I think overall it's a win because I think I incorporated some of the habits from the challenge, but tracking like 5 million things was just way too much for me, especially because I have a baby. I am leaning into that excuse. But yep, these are the weeks. I've covered up some things with personal info. I really like this last week. This is from this Oracle deck, or is it an Oracle deck that I have from Alex Raccoon? She's an artist on Instagram, but I had pulled this card and I sketched it. I just like that week. And we're on to this week. So that's kind of how I use the weeks. I do also have this pencil board, which I honestly don't know how much I actually like or need this. Some people really raved about the pencil boards on different Hobonichi content I consumed, but I'm not really sure that I want or need it that badly. And then other than that, I'm actually making sure I'm not going to show you something I shouldn't, but on the notes pages, at first I was really trying to like commonplace. If any of you watch Megan Reunion, her channel's called Attic Archives on YouTube. She did like a really pretty commonplace in her Hobonichi Weeks at one point, and I really wanted to kind of embody that. So I was kind of doing that for a little bit, but I finally realized like I really just wanted to make sure I was actually using these pages, and trying to like journal in a specific way was making me less likely to use them. So now I'm just kind of, that's a sketch I did when I was in the mountains, but now I'm just kind of using them whenever and however. This planner is kind of very portable. It's very sleek and portable. So especially if I'm out and about and I want to journal or write some notes, there's like a organization I'm part of. We have a meeting tonight, so I like take notes for that in here. But yeah, just use it whenever and wherever I can. I am liking the weeks. I do think I'm gonna enjoy it this year. I do think I might be switching this out next year. And part of the reason is because last year the weeks worked well because I wasn't really, it was kind of my main one book almost, but this year I'm using a lot of other planners and journals too. So this actually feels like too much space sometimes since I'm in other planners as well. So I'm gonna still try to enjoy the heck out of it this year, but I'm not sure that it will make it to next year. So that is my Hobonichi Weeks. That's my very non-ASMR tapping with my non-done nails. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.